Imagine stepping into a vibrant, colorful world where each pattern and texture tells a story. A story that stretches back centuries, one that speaks of ancestors, tribes, and the very land beneath your feet. This world is the heartbeat of African fashion, where fabric isn't just something you wear, it's something that connects you to your heritage, your people, and your past. For decades, this rich tradition was pushed aside, lost in the global shuffle of trends and fleeting fashions. But today, African fashion is undergoing a powerful renaissance. From local markets to international runways, African fashion is reclaiming its rightful place in the world. And it all began with a visionary designer named Oma, whose passion for her heritage changed the game forever. Oma was born in a small village in Ghana, a place where life was inextricably tied to the land. The rhythm of life here was reflected in the colorful clothes people wore, vibrant prints, intricate weavings, and textured fabrics. Her grandmother, a master weaver, was known throughout the village for her Kente cloth, which she wove by hand with threads of gold and silk. These threads weren't just fabric, they were woven with centuries of history. Each design told a story, from the triumphs of kings to the wisdom passed down from elders. The Kente cloth was not only worn to celebrate special occasions but also to honor the ancestral spirits that guided their lives. Oma's mother, a talented seamstress, carried on these traditions in her own way, using locally sourced fabrics like adire and wax-printed Ankara fabric to create beautiful clothing. As a child, Oma spent hours watching her mother and grandmother work, learning the art of sewing, weaving, and the symbolism behind each design. It was here that Oma's love for fashion was born, not as something simply aesthetic, but as a way of telling powerful stories. But as Oma grew older, she began to see a shift. As globalization began to take hold, the younger generations in her village and beyond started favoring Western fashion, jeans, t-shirts, dresses that were imported from the West. The rich tradition of African textiles was no longer a part of their everyday lives. People began to see these fabrics as outdated, old-fashioned, and not suited for the modern world. Western brands, with their mass production and sleek advertising, overshadowed the local designs that once defined the beauty of African fashion. This shift troubled Oma deeply. She could see the rich tapestry of African fashion being forgotten, replaced by imported, one-size-fits-all clothing that lacked the depth and history of African textiles. But Oma wasn't willing to let her culture fade into obscurity. She believed in the power of African fashion to unite people, to tell stories, and to revive the cultural heritage that was slipping away. So, at 18, she left her village and moved to Accra, Ghana's bustling capital, to study fashion design at one of the country's top universities. In Accra, Oma was exposed to a world that was both exciting and intimidating. The fashion scene in the city was full of cutting-edge designers and international influences. Oma found herself studying modern fashion trends, learning to work with fabrics like silk, cotton, and linen. But while she gained technical skills, her heart remained rooted in the textiles of her homeland. It was clear to her that she didn't want to simply follow trends, she wanted to create new ones that would honor her heritage while moving African fashion forward. Oma began experimenting with combining traditional African fabrics with contemporary designs. She took bold, colorful Ankara prints and incorporated them into tailored jackets, sleek dresses, and contemporary accessories. Kente cloth, which had long been associated with royal ceremonies, was transformed into stylish, everyday pieces, blouses, skirts, and scarves, fusing the old with the new. Each piece she designed was a careful balance between honoring tradition and embracing modernity, with every pattern telling a unique story of the African past. Her first collection, Roots and Wings, was a statement. The collection blended classic African fabrics with minimalist, modern cuts. Kente cloth, known for its geometric designs, symbolized the unity and strength of Ghanaian culture. Adire, the indigo-dyed fabric from Nigeria, represented wisdom, while the bright, lively patterns of Ankara embodied the vibrancy of African communities. Oma's designs were infused with deep cultural meaning. The colors and patterns in each garment symbolized everything from courage and resilience to peace and harmony. It wasn't just fashion, it was a tribute to the African spirit, a celebration of its strength and beauty. Oma's breakthrough came when she showcased her collection at a local fashion show in Accra. The response was electric. People were captivated by the boldness and beauty of the fabrics, and they marveled at how Omar had modernized the traditional designs without losing their cultural significance. Word spread quickly, and soon, her designs were being featured in Ghanaian fashion magazines, worn by influential local figures, and shared on social media platforms. Omar became known as the voice of African fashion, and her success marked the beginning of a new era in African fashion. Her designs soon caught the attention of international buyers, and before long, Omar was invited to show her collections at global fashion events like New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, and London Fashion Week. African-inspired fashion was having its moment, and Omar's work stood at the forefront of this cultural movement. Celebrities like Beyoncé, Lupita Nyong'o, and Michelle Obama embraced African designers, proudly wearing their pieces to red carpet events. Omar's designs were worn by figures who not only appreciated the beauty of African fabrics but who understood the importance of wearing them as a sign of cultural pride and solidarity. But Omar's mission went beyond personal success. She wanted to ensure that African fashion was accessible, sustainable, and empowering. She worked to create a network of artisans across Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa, teaching them how to combine traditional techniques with modern design principles. By using locally sourced materials and creating jobs for skilled artisans, Omar was able to support the local economy while preserving the craft of African textiles. Omar also launched a series of workshops for young people across Africa, teaching them how to design and sew their own clothes using traditional African fabrics. She was passionate about inspiring the next generation to take pride in their heritage and express it through their own designs. By combining her love for design with her commitment to cultural preservation, Omar became a mentor to many young African designers who shared her vision. Today, African fashion has gone from being a regional treasure to a global movement. It is a force that celebrates the beauty of Africa's diversity, creativity, and history. Designers from every corner of the continent have embraced their cultural heritage, and African-inspired fashion can now be seen on the streets of London, New York, and Paris. The rise of social media has helped African fashion reach global audiences, giving designers the opportunity to showcase their work to a wider, more diverse group of people. From the vibrant prints of Lisa Folowiyo in Nigeria to the cutting-edge designs of TB Magugu in South Africa, African fashion has not only transformed how the world views African culture but has also made a lasting impact on the fashion industry as a whole. It's a movement that celebrates identity, pride, and the incredible craftsmanship that Africa has to offer. African fashion is more than just what we wear, it's a powerful reminder of who we are and where we come from. Through the blending of tradition and modernity, African fashion is rebirthing a cultural identity that was once forgotten, reminding the world that culture, history, and creativity are always in style.